The sky was burning. The human salvager, Ryan, stood on the edge of a broken cliff, his eyes locked on the falling ship above the crimson horizon. Flames trailed behind the royal cruiser as it crashed through the clouds. Pieces of metal fell like rain. He had seen wrecks before, but this one was different. This one was carrying someone important, the Princess of Lyra Prime. Ryan's communicator cracked with static. "Anyone alive up there?" he shouted. No answer came. Only the sound of the wind and distant explosions. He jumped onto his hoverbike and sped toward the crash site. The ground trembled beneath him. He knew he should stay away. The royal guards didn't like humans interfering in their affairs, but his heart refused to let him watch someone die. When he reached the burning wreck, the air shimmered with heat. Half the ship was buried in the sand. Sparks leapt from torn wires. Through the smoke, Ryan saw movement, a figure trapped at the edge of the broken hull. It was her. She was hanging from the metal frame, her long silver hair tangled, her tail glowing faintly under the firelight. Her armor was cracked, her face pale. She looked down at him with wide violet eyes, afraid, yet proud. "Don't move," Ryan shouted. "I'm coming." He climbed fast, gripping the hot metal with his gloves. The ship groaned under his weight. Each step felt like a gamble. As he reached closer, the metal cracked and she slipped, screaming as her body dangled above the fiery pit below. Ryan's mind went blank. He didn't think, he just moved. He lunged forward and grabbed the only thing he could reach, her tail. For a second, time froze. The world went silent except for their heavy breathing. Her tail was soft, warm, and pulsing with strange energy. She gasped sharply, a sound between pain and shock. He pulled hard, using all his strength. The ship tore apart behind them, but somehow he managed to pull her to safety just before the wreck exploded. They fell together onto the sand, the explosion lighting the sky behind them. He coughed and looked at her. She was trembling, her tail still in his hand. Her ears twitched, and her face turned a deep red. Slowly, she whispered, "You touched my tail." Ryan blinked, confused. "Yeah, I was saving your life." She looked away, her voice soft but trembling. "No one touches a royal tail. It means something." Before he could ask what she meant, he heard a sharp sound, boots crunching over the sand. A group of armored guards surrounded them, blasters pointed at Ryan. Their leader stepped forward, eyes full of anger. "What did you do to Her Highness?" the guard barked. "I just saved her," Ryan said, raising his hands. But the guards didn't lower their weapons. The princess stood weakly and faced them. "Stop," she said. Her voice was shaky but full of command. "He saved me." The guards hesitated. One of them frowned. "But princess, the law." "I said stop," she repeated, her tail curling slightly behind her. "He's under my protection." Ryan didn't understand, but he knew enough to stay quiet. The guards exchanged uneasy looks. Finally, the leader saluted and called for a medic. As they prepared to leave, the princess turned to Ryan. Her eyes met his, full of something strange, confusion, gratitude, maybe even fear. "You shouldn't have touched me," she said softly. "Now, you cannot walk away." "What are you talking about?" Ryan asked, but she didn't answer. Later, aboard the royal transport, Ryan sat in silence. The princess rested nearby, wrapped in a silver blanket. Every time she glanced at him, her cheeks colored slightly. The guards whispered among themselves, casting suspicious looks his way. He finally asked one of them, "What's their problem?" The guard looked at him with a mix of disgust and pity. "You really don't know, human? In our culture, touching a royal's tail is a sacred bond. You've marked yourself. The princess may believe you're her destined mate." Ryan froze. "Her what?" Before the guard could say more, the transport shook violently. A sudden explosion rocked the ship. Everyone stumbled. Alarms screamed. Outside the window, a swarm of black drones attacked from the night sky. Ryan grabbed a blaster from the fallen guard and shouted, "We're under attack." The princess looked terrified but determined. She reached for his arm, her voice trembling. "Don't leave me." He nodded. Not planning to. Together, they ran toward the control room. Sparks flew around them, and the sound of laser fire echoed through the corridors. For a brief moment, she stumbled again, her tail brushed against his leg, sending a strange warmth through his body. He didn't have time to think about it. When they reached the main deck, Ryan fired at the incoming drones. One hit the side of the ship, sending them both crashing to the floor. The lights flickered. Smoke filled the air. Ryan turned to the princess. "We have to get you out of here." She grabbed his arm tightly, eyes wide. "If you leave me now, I will die." He pulled her close, their faces only inches apart. "Then hold on." He activated the emergency escape pod, and as it launched away from the burning transport, the princess clung to him, trembling. Outside, the stars spun wildly, and the ship exploded behind them, a bright light fading into the black sky. For a long moment, neither spoke. The silence between them was heavy. Then, softly, she whispered, "You shouldn't have saved me that way." Ryan looked at her, still breathing hard. "Next time, I'll try asking first." But deep inside, he knew this was no simple rescue. Something had begun between them. Something he didn't yet understand. And from the look in her eyes, she didn't either. The royal city of Lyra Prime looked peaceful from space, golden towers floating above the clouds, their lights shimmering like stars. But for Ryan, it felt more like a trap than a dream. After the crash, the royal guards brought him to the capital under heavy watch. They didn't trust him. Every guard's hand rested near a weapon, and every glance held suspicion. Ryan sat quietly in the shuttle beside the princess, trying to act calm, though his heart raced. The princess sat with her head high, her silver hair flowing down her armor. Her soft tail curled nervously behind her. She hadn't said a word since they left the crash site. When their eyes met, she looked away quickly, her cheeks turning faint pink. He finally broke the silence. "So, what happens now?" She hesitated. "You'll be taken before my mother, the queen. She will decide what to do with you." Ryan sighed. "Great. Maybe she'll give me a medal." The princess looked at him sharply. "She might give you a cell instead." Ryan blinked. "Wait, what?" "For saving your life." The princess didn't answer. She only looked down at her hands and whispered, "You touched my tail, human. That means more than you know." When they reached the royal palace, Ryan couldn't believe his eyes. The palace was massive, carved from glowing crystal and floating above a sea of clouds. Inside, corridors shimmered like liquid gold. Alien musicians played soft tones in the distance. Everything smelled of flowers and electricity. But the beauty didn't calm him. Hundreds of alien eyes watched as he walked beside the princess. Some whispered, some sneered. A few even spat when they saw his human face. Ryan tried to ignore them. He wasn't here for fame or respect. He just wanted to survive. Finally, they entered the grand hall, a vast chamber lit by blue fire. At the far end sat the Queen of Lyra, tall and elegant, her silver crown glowing faintly. Her tail was long and white, swaying gently as she studied him. Ryan felt like a mouse in front of a lion. "Bring the human forward," the queen said. Her voice was calm but cold. Ryan stepped closer. The guards stopped behind him. The queen's gaze was sharp. "You claim to have saved my daughter." Ryan nodded. "Yes, your majesty. Her ship crashed. I pulled her out before it exploded." The queen's eyes narrowed slightly. "You pulled her out by what means?" Ryan hesitated. "By her tail." The hall went silent. Even the guards froze. Ryan felt every stare on him like a blade. The queen's expression darkened. "Do you understand what you've done?" she asked. Ryan frowned. "I saved her life." The queen's voice rose. "You touched her tail. In our culture, that is a sacred act, one that binds souls. You claim a bond with the Princess of Lyra." Ryan blinked in disbelief. "Wait, what? That's crazy. I didn't mean." "Silence," the queen snapped. Her voice echoed across the hall. "Intention does not erase what is done. You have invoked the old bond, an ancient right between our kind and humans. It was forbidden long ago." The princess stepped forward quickly. Mother, please. He didn't know. He was only trying to save me. The queen turned her glare to her daughter. You defend him. The princess swallowed hard. Yes. Without him, I would be dead. The queen's expression softened for a second, then hardened again. Then he will face the court's question. Ryan looked confused. What's that supposed to mean? The queen rose from her throne. You will be tested. If your intentions were pure, the bond will fade. If not, she paused. You will belong to the royal line, as property. Ryan clenched his fists. I'm nobody's property. The queen smirked. We shall see. Hours later, Ryan sat alone in a golden cell. The walls shimmered faintly, humming with energy. He paced restlessly. His mind replayed everything, the crash, the rescue, the princess's strange reaction. What did this bond really mean? A soft sound broke his thoughts. The door slid open, and the princess entered quietly. She wore a simple robe, her silver hair loose around her shoulders. You shouldn't be here, Ryan said. I had to see you, she whispered. The court's question is tomorrow. They will try to break you. Ryan frowned. Break me? For what? For touching me, she said softly, looking away. When a human touches a royal tale, our energy connects. It's not just physical, it's spiritual. If your heart meant harm, the bond will destroy you. If it was pure, it will remain. Ryan shook his head. That sounds like magic. In a way, it is, she said. Old science and faith mixed together. Ryan sat down, rubbing his forehead. So if I fail, I die. And if I pass, what then? The princess looked at him for a long moment. Then the bond will stay. And the court will see you as my destined one. Ryan blinked. You're what? My true mate, she said quietly. He stared at her, speechless. This has to be some kind of nightmare. But the princess smiled faintly, shy, nervous. It's not. You saved me. You touched my tail. The bond chose you. Ryan stood up, trying to control his thoughts. Look, I didn't come here to be anyone's mate. I just wanted to help. I know, she whispered. That's why I believe you'll survive the trial. Before he could answer, footsteps echoed in the hall. She gasped and quickly stepped back. I must go. Wait. Ryan called out. What if I don't survive? She turned at the door, her eyes shimmering. Then I'll fight for you. The door closed behind her, leaving Ryan alone again. The hum of the golden walls felt louder now, almost like a heartbeat. He sighed, staring at his hands. What have I gotten myself into? Suddenly, a small drone slid out from the ceiling. It projected a red hologram in front of him, a message written in alien script. The words translated automatically on his wristband. They will accuse you of taking the throne. Run before the dawn. Ryan's eyes widened. What? The hologram flickered and vanished. Outside, thunder rolled across the clouds of Lyra Prime. He didn't know who sent the message, but one thing was clear. The court's question wasn't just a test. It was a trap. The sun rose slowly over Lyra Prime, turning the floating city into rivers of gold and light. The morning looked peaceful, but Ryan felt nothing but fear. The Queen's words still echoed in his head. You will face the court's question. He had spent the whole night staring at the glowing walls of his golden cell, waiting for the guards to come. He hadn't slept, hadn't eaten. He didn't know what this bond test would be, or if he'd survive it. Just before dawn, the cell door slid open. The princess entered, dressed in silver armor that shimmered like starlight. Her tail swayed slowly behind her, and her violet eyes looked worried. Ryan, she said softly. It's time. He gave a nervous half-smile. Guess I don't get breakfast first, huh? She didn't smile. No one eats before the test. It's tradition. Well, he muttered, that's comforting. They walked through long halls made of crystal and light. The palace guards followed close, their eyes cold and sharp. The princess walked beside him, silent, but Ryan noticed how her tail occasionally brushed against his arm, almost like it had a mind of its own. Each time it touched him, a strange warmth spread through his chest. He tried not to think about it, but something felt different. His heartbeat matched the rhythm of her steps. When she turned her head, he somehow knew before she did. It was like part of him could feel her thoughts. They entered a great circular chamber, glowing with blue fire. The queen sat high above on her throne, surrounded by the royal court. Dozens of alien nobles whispered among themselves, staring at Ryan as if he were some kind of experiment. The queen raised her hand, and the room went silent. "Begin the question," she said. 2 priests stepped forward, carrying a crystal orb that pulsed with light. They placed it between Ryan and the princess. The queen's voice echoed through the hall. "This crystal will reveal the truth of your intentions. If your touch was born of greed or desire, it will consume you. If it was pure, it will bind you." Ryan looked at the glowing orb and swallowed hard. "So, I just touch it?" The queen nodded. "Together." The princess stepped closer. "Don't be afraid," she whispered. Ryan tried to joke. "Easy for you to say, you've probably done this before." She shook her head. "Never. No one has, not in hundreds of years." That didn't make him feel better. They both placed their hands on the crystal. Instantly, the chamber filled with light. Ryan gasped, a wave of heat and sound flooded his mind. He saw flashes of memories, his home, the crash, the moment he grabbed her tail. But something else appeared too, her memories. Her fear, her pain, her loneliness inside the royal walls. For a brief moment, their thoughts were one. The princess's eyes widened. "You can see it too, can't you?" Ryan nodded slowly. "Yeah, I can." The orb's light turned from blue to white, pure and blinding. The queen rose from her throne, eyes wide in disbelief. "Impossible," she whispered. "The bond, it's real." The court gasped. Whispers filled the air. A human, linked to the royal bloodline. The queen's expression hardened. "No. This cannot be." The crystal shattered, and Ryan fell to his knees. The princess rushed to him, holding his arm. He was shaking, his vision blurred, his chest burning with strange energy. The queen pointed at him. "Guards! Detain the human. The test has been corrupted." "No," the princess shouted. "He passed. You saw the light." But the guards didn't listen. 2 of them grabbed Ryan and dragged him away. The princess tried to stop them, but the queen's voice thundered through the hall. "Enough. This is not love, this is manipulation. The old bond has been forced." Ryan struggled. "I didn't force anything. I didn't even know your rules." The queen's eyes burned with anger. "You will be studied, until we understand what you are." The guards pulled him toward the door. The princess tried to run after him, but a shimmering barrier appeared, blocking her path. She slammed her hands against it, tears welling in her eyes. "Ryan." He looked back at her as the guards dragged him away. "It's okay," he said, trying to sound brave. "I'll be fine." But he didn't believe it. They threw him into a dark cell deep beneath the palace. Metal chains hummed faintly against his wrists. His head hurt, not from pain, but from voices. Whispers. Echoes of thoughts that weren't his own. "Ryan." He froze. The voice was in his head, soft, scared, familiar. "Princess," he whispered. "Yes," she replied. "I can hear you, through the bond." Ryan stared into the darkness. "So this thing is real, huh?" "Yes," she said. "You are inside my thoughts, and I am inside yours." He swallowed. "Great. Guess I'll have to be careful what I think about." Despite everything, he could feel her small laugh echo in his mind. It felt warm, comforting, too comforting. "Listen," she continued. "You're in danger. The Queen doesn't trust the bond. She thinks you were sent by the old human labs, the ones that studied our kind." Ryan frowned. "Old labs?" "Yes. They called it Project Omega. Humans once tried to create artificial bond links, but it failed. Everyone died. The Queen thinks you are one of them." Ryan froze. The name echoed in his head like thunder. Project Omega. Why did that sound familiar? Suddenly, a sharp pain hit his temple. Images flashed, bright lights, scientists, a cold metal table, his own voice screaming. He gasped. I remember something. What do you remember? The princess asked quickly. A place, white walls, machines, voices calling me Subject Omega. They were testing something. Something about compatibility. The princess's voice trembled. That's impossible. That project ended decades ago. Ryan took a deep breath. Maybe not. Before he could say more, the door to his cell opened. A guard stood there, face unreadable. The Queen requests you, immediately. Ryan's heart raced. Why? The guard leaned closer and whispered, because someone leaked your name. Someone knows who you really are. The door closed behind them, and Ryan realized something terrifying. He didn't even know who that was himself. The guards led Ryan through the silent corridors beneath the palace. The air felt colder here, heavier, like the walls themselves were watching. Blue lights flickered on the ceiling, humming softly. He could feel the princess's voice in the back of his mind, faint but worried. Ryan, what's happening? I don't know, he whispered back, careful not to move his lips. They're taking me somewhere. The guards didn't speak. They only walked faster. Finally, they stopped in front of a steel door marked with strange alien symbols. The lead guard placed his hand on a glowing panel, and the door slid open with a low hiss. Inside was a long chamber filled with old machines, dusty, broken, half forgotten. Holograms flickered weakly in the air. It didn't look like part of the royal palace at all. It looked like a laboratory. Ryan stepped inside slowly. What is this place? The Queen's voice answered from behind him. It is the truth you have been hiding. He turned around. The Queen of Lyra stood there, her robe trailing across the floor like silver fire. Guards bowed as she entered. Her eyes were cold, sharp, like a blade made of ice. Ryan clenched his fists. I'm not hiding anything. Perhaps, she said calmly, but the machines here will decide that. She gestured to a circular device in the center of the room, a scanner made of black metal, with lights pulsing faintly. This is one of the last machines built during the time of the human experiments. It will read your biosignature and memory sequence. Then we will see who you truly are. Ryan stared at it, heart pounding. And if I refuse? The Queen tilted her head slightly. Then I'll assume you are the enemy my people believe you to be, and you will be erased. He sighed. Guess I don't have much of a choice. They strapped him into the scanner. Cold metal pressed against his skin. The machine hummed to life, scanning beams of light across his body. He tried to stay calm, but flashes of memory kept hitting him. White rooms, shouting voices, wires attached to his arms, people calling him Omega. The Queen watched from behind a glass wall. He reacts, one of the technicians said. Memory patterns are unstable. Push deeper, the Queen ordered. Ryan gritted his teeth. His vision blurred. Suddenly, he saw something, a group of humans in white suits, standing over him as a boy. One of them said, Subject Omega has the strongest link potential yet. If this works, the bond between human and alien will finally be permanent. He gasped, his voice breaking. Stop. Stop this. The machine released him, and he fell to his knees, breathing hard. Sweat dripped down his face. The Queen approached slowly. So, she said quietly. It's true. Ryan looked up. What's true? You were part of Project Omega. Her eyes narrowed. A human weapon designed to bind with my kind, to control our bloodline. Ryan shook his head. No, I didn't choose that. I was a kid. They experimented on me. I escaped. The Queen's voice softened slightly, though her gaze stayed sharp. Perhaps you speak the truth. But your bond with my daughter, it proves the experiment succeeded. That is what frightens me most. Ryan frowned. Frightens you? Why? Because if the bond is permanent, she said, then her fate and yours are now linked forever. If you die, she dies too. Ryan's stomach twisted. What? You see why I cannot let you near her, the Queen continued. Even if you mean no harm, you are dangerous by nature. At that moment, the door burst open. A guard rushed in, bowing quickly. Your Majesty, forgive me, the princess has escaped her chamber. The Queen's eyes widened. What? Ryan's head snapped up. Escaped. The guard nodded. She took a ship from the lower dock. It's headed toward the outer colonies. The Queen turned to Ryan sharply. What did you tell her? Nothing. Ryan said. But I can feel her, she's scared. The Queen froze. You can feel her? Ryan nodded. Yes. Through the bond. She's running from something. The Queen hesitated, thinking fast. Then she turned to her guards. Bring me his chains. Ryan frowned. Wait, what are you doing? She stepped closer. You're connected to her. That means you can find her faster than anyone else. You will bring her back to me. Ryan laughed bitterly. And if I say no? Then I will destroy every human record of you, including your freedom, the Queen said coldly. He looked down, silent. Finally, he said, fine. But if she's in danger, I'm not bringing her back for your control. I'm bringing her back alive. The Queen stared at him for a long time. We'll see what remains alive when this is over. Hours later, Ryan stood in the hangar bay, now dressed in simple travel armor. His wrists were free, but 2 guards followed close behind. The Queen had given him a sleek black ship, small, fast, built for pursuit. Before he boarded, a royal technician handed him a small metal cube. This will track her ship's trail, the man said. But be careful. The energy spikes near her location are strange. Ryan frowned. Strange how? The technician hesitated. Like something old, something from before the war. Ryan took the cube and boarded the ship. The engines roared, and the hangar doors opened to the vast sky. As the ship lifted off, he closed his eyes for a moment. Inside his head, he heard her voice again, soft, trembling. Ryan, don't come after me, please. He whispered back, too late, princess. We're already connected. Outside, the ship cut through the clouds, chasing a faint trail of light across the endless stars. In the distance, lightning flashed, a storm forming around an abandoned orbital ring. As Ryan checked his coordinates, a strange message appeared on his screen, written in old human code. Welcome back, Omega. Activation sequence inbound. He stared at it, his heart pounding. Welcome back, he whispered. Then the ship's lights flickered, and a deep, mechanical voice spoke through the speakers, one he didn't recognize. Subject confirmed. Bond protocol initiating. Ryan froze. The ship changed course on its own, steering toward the storm. Somewhere ahead, the princess's ship vanished from the scanner. And for the first time, Ryan realized, someone else was controlling both of them. Lightning danced across the sky as Ryan's ship cut through the roaring storm. The wind howled outside, and thunder cracked so loud it shook the entire hull. He gripped the controls tightly, fighting to keep the ship steady. But it wasn't working. Something, or someone, had taken over the system. Manual control locked, said the mechanical voice from the speakers. Destination confirmed, Omega facility. Ryan gritted his teeth. Not this again. He tried pulling every switch, cutting the power feed, but the system refused to respond. A cold blue light pulsed from the control panel, alive, like a heartbeat. The storm outside grew darker. Then, through the clouds, he saw it, a giant ring-shaped structure floating in the sky. Rusted. Silent. Old. The Omega facility, he muttered. It's real. As the ship approached, a docking gate opened automatically. He had no choice. The ship slipped inside, and the door sealed behind him. The engines shut down with a low hum. Everything went quiet. Ryan stepped out slowly. The air was cold and heavy. The inside of the station was massive, old corridors lined with cracked metal, red emergency lights flickering weakly. He could hear distant echoes, like whispers traveling through the steel walls. He turned on his wrist light and began walking. Every step echoed through the silence. Then a faint static voice came from his earpiece, soft, shaky. "Ryan, where are you?" He froze. "Princess, is that you?" "Yes," she whispered. "I'm inside the station too. My ship was pulled here. I don't know how." Ryan took a deep breath. "Stay where you are. I'm coming for you." "No, wait," her voice broke, replaced by static. "Princess." He tapped his earpiece, but the connection was gone. Ryan moved quickly through the halls. He passed broken doors, shattered screens, and rooms filled with strange glowing tubes, each one with a human or alien figure frozen inside, like statues of glass. His chest tightened. "This place was a lab," he whispered. "A place for experiments." He stopped in front of a large cracked mirror. For a second, he saw something behind him, a tall shadow, watching. He spun around. Nothing. But the whisper came again. "Welcome home, Subject Omega." Ryan's pulse quickened. "Who's there?" A hologram flickered to life in front of him. It showed a man in a white coat, smiling calmly, but his face was half glitched, half real. Project Omega was humanity's last hope, the hologram said. To bind our DNA with the alien species. To create the perfect link, mind and body as one. Ryan stared in disbelief. "You did this to me." The hologram ignored him. Subject Omega achieved 100% synchronization. But the control failed. Emotional instability caused rejection. Subject escaped containment. Project terminated. The hologram faded. Ryan punched the wall in anger. "You turned me into this, and now she's trapped because of it." He took a deep breath and kept moving. After several turns, he reached a massive door with a glowing symbol, the same mark that had been on the princess's necklace. He placed his hand on it. The door hissed open. Inside was a wide circular chamber, filled with blue light and energy crystals floating mid-air. In the center, the princess stood inside a transparent containment field, her tail glowing faintly. "Ryan!" she cried. He ran toward her. "Hold on, I'll get you out." But before he could reach the console, a metallic figure stepped out from the shadows, a humanoid robot with black armor, its eyes burning red. "Access denied," it said. "Subject Omega detected. Termination required." Ryan backed up, fists clenched. "You'll have to go through me first." The robot's arms shifted into glowing blades. It lunged forward with terrifying speed. Ryan dodged, rolling aside as the blade cut through the floor, leaving a trail of sparks. He grabbed a metal rod from the ground and swung hard, smashing it into the robot's chest. The hit barely made a dent. The robot struck back, sending Ryan crashing into the wall. Pain shot through his side. "Ryan!" the princess screamed. He coughed, forcing himself to stand. "Not done yet." The robot raised its arm to strike again, but suddenly, the princess's tail glowed brighter. A surge of energy burst from her body, hitting the robot like a wave. It froze mid-motion. The containment field flickered and shut down. The princess fell to the floor, weak but free. Ryan ran to her side and helped her up. She looked into his eyes, trembling. "I felt you, calling to me." He smiled softly. "Yeah, I wasn't going to let you go." Before they could move, the robot reactivated, its voice distorted. "System reboot. Omega bond detected, merging protocols." Ryan and the princess stepped back as blue lines of energy spread across the floor. The walls lit up, screens flashing with data. "What's happening?" she asked. "I think," Ryan's eyes widened. "The facility is reacting to us, to our bond." A deep rumble shook the floor. Machinery all around began to awaken. The central platform split open, revealing a large glowing core beneath them, pulsing like a heart. "Warning," said a mechanical voice. "Omega Protocol online. Initiating bond fusion sequence." Ryan looked at her. "We need to get out of here. Now." They ran toward the exit, but the door slammed shut. The robot blocked their path, its voice now calm and eerie. "Escape denied. You are the core now." The princess clutched his arm, her eyes wide with fear. "Ryan, what do we do?" Ryan looked around, his mind racing. Then he saw a control panel near the core. If I can overload that, it might stop the fusion. She shook her head. That's too dangerous. If it explodes. He smiled weakly. Guess we'll find out. He ran toward the console, dodging another strike from the robot. Sparks flew everywhere. The princess used her tail's energy again, blasting the machine just enough for Ryan to reach the panel. He slammed his hand down and twisted a lever. The entire room began to shake violently. Override complete, said the system. Core overload in 60 seconds. The princess ran to him. Ryan, hurry. He grabbed her hand. Hold on tight. As the explosion built, they dove into a maintenance tunnel just as a blinding white light filled the chamber. Then, silence. A few minutes later, a small escape pod launched from the facility, flying out of the storm and into open skies. Inside, Ryan and the princess lay side by side, breathing hard. She looked at him quietly. You saved me again. He smiled faintly. Yeah. I guess it's becoming a habit. But before he could relax, a faint voice came through the pod speaker, the same cold mechanical tone as before. Sequence incomplete. Omega bond transferring to host systems. Ryan's eyes widened. Wait, what does that mean? The princess's tail flickered with blue light again, brighter than before. And somewhere deep in space, the Omega facility came alive once more. The escape pod drifted quietly through the endless sky, the storm far behind them. Inside, Ryan and Princess Lyra sat in silence. The soft hum of the engine was the only sound. Both of them were breathing hard, exhausted after the explosion. Ryan looked at her, her long silver hair glowed faintly in the pod's dim light. Her fox-like tail curled gently around her legs, still flickering with small blue sparks. He frowned. You're glowing again. The princess looked down at her hands. I can feel something, inside me. Like a pulse. Ryan touched his chest. Yeah, me too. It's like my heart's beating in two places at once. Then a soft blue light appeared between them, floating, swirling slowly. It looked almost alive. What is that? Ryan whispered. The light pulsed once, and then disappeared into both of their bodies. A sharp pain shot through Ryan's chest. He gasped, grabbing his heart. Ah! Ryan. The princess reached for him, but then she froze too, her eyes wide as the same pain hit her. Their bodies glowed, veins lighting up with blue energy. The pod's control screen flickered to life, showing strange symbols and a message. Omega link stabilized. Phase 2 initiated. Then silence again. Ryan leaned back, breathing heavily. What the hell just happened? The princess stared at him, her voice trembling. The bond, it changed. I can feel your heartbeat inside me. He looked at her, confused. You mean? I can feel you, she whispered. Your fear, your anger, even your pain. Ryan blinked, realizing. It's a full connection now. They sat there for a moment, stunned. Then the princess's eyes softened. Ryan, I can also feel your memories. He tensed. What? Your past, the pain, the experiments, they hurt so much. She reached out, her hand trembling. How did you survive that? Ryan looked away. I didn't. Not really. They turned me into something I didn't understand, and now it's back. Hours passed as the pod continued to drift. They had no idea where they were heading. The navigation system was damaged, and their food supplies were low. But suddenly, the pod's sensors beeped. A faint signal appeared on the radar, a small space station orbiting a dead moon. Looks abandoned, Ryan said, studying the screen. The princess nodded. Still, it's our only chance. The pod changed course and landed on the surface. The station was dark, silent, and covered in ice. They stepped out carefully. Inside, the air was cold but breathable. Ryan turned on a flashlight and led the way. Stay close. They found an old control room filled with dust and broken screens. Ryan powered up a terminal using a backup generator. It flickered weakly, and then a familiar voice echoed through the speakers. Welcome, Subject Omega. Your evolution is proceeding faster than expected. Ryan froze. That voice again. The princess's ears twitched. Who is it? I don't know, Ryan said. But whoever it is, they built this bond. The voice continued, calm and cold. Phase 2 has connected both host and catalyst. Emotional synchronization at 98%. Final phase approaching. Ryan slammed his fist on the console. Stop talking in riddles. What do you want from us? You are the key, the voice replied. The perfect fusion of human and royal blood. When the final phase completes, the Omega core will awaken, and so will the true power of the Lyran line. The princess stepped forward, her tail glowing brighter. No. You're trying to use us like tools. We won't let you. The voice ignored her. The process cannot be undone. Your bond has already merged your energy signatures. Separation will cause mutual destruction. Ryan's face turned pale. Wait, if we try to break the link, one of us dies. The princess looked at him, her eyes wide with fear. Ryan, we're trapped. The lights in the room flickered. Suddenly, the walls began to shift. Panels opened, revealing strange machinery beneath, glowing with blue energy. A massive screen lit up, showing an image of a dark planet surrounded by lightning storms. The voice spoke again. The Omega core sleeps beneath this world. Bring the catalyst there, and the transformation will be complete. Ryan clenched his fists. Not a chance. You cannot resist, the voice said. The bond will guide you. It already has. At that moment, the princess staggered. Ryan. I can feel it pulling me. Her eyes glowed blue for a moment, like she was being controlled. Ryan caught her, shaking her shoulders. Lyra. Look at me. Fight it. She blinked rapidly, breathing hard. I'm trying. Then suddenly, the floor cracked, a beam of light shot up from below. The whole station began to tremble. Ryan pulled her away as the control room collapsed. Move. They ran through the corridor as the floor split apart behind them. The light chased them, burning through metal. The entire station was falling apart. Ryan saw an old cargo shuttle ahead. There. They jumped inside, and Ryan hit the ignition. The shuttle lifted off just as the station exploded behind them, sending debris into space. The princess sat beside him, shaking. It's calling us to that planet. Ryan glanced at her. Then that's where we go. But not to complete their plan, to end it. She nodded, her voice trembling. We'll destroy the Omega core before it destroys us. As the shuttle sped toward the dark planet, Ryan looked out the window. The world below glowed faintly, like veins of lightning crawling across its surface. The voice came again, but this time it was faint, almost whispering inside his mind. You cannot destroy what you are. The core is you. Ryan froze. What? The princess turned to him. Ryan. What's wrong? He swallowed hard. The voice said, the core is me. She stared at him in shock. That means I'm not just a part of the experiment, Ryan said slowly. I am the Omega core. The princess's tail shimmered faintly as the shuttle entered the planet's orbit. Then maybe that's why we were chosen. To end what started with you. Ryan nodded, determination burning in his eyes. Then let's finish it. As their ship descended through the clouds, the planet below came into view, a ruined city of ancient towers, glowing with blue energy. At the center stood a massive structure shaped like a heart, pulsing slowly. The princess whispered, that's it, the Omega core. Ryan stared at it, his chest glowing faintly in sync. I can feel it, he said softly. It's alive. The princess looked at him, worry in her eyes. Ryan, what if destroying it destroys you? He smiled weakly. Then I guess I'll have to trust you to bring me back. The shuttle broke through the thick clouds, revealing a strange world below, endless ruins, glowing rivers of blue light, and a huge heart-shaped structure pulsing in the center like a living thing. Ryan felt a sharp pull in his chest. Each pulse from the core echoed inside his body, matching his heartbeat. The princess noticed it too. Ryan, your eyes, they're glowing. He touched his face, confused. It's the core. It's calling to me. The ship landed near the ruins with a low hiss. Wind blew dust across the cracked ground. The place felt ancient, silent, but alive. Blue energy crawled across the stone walls like veins of light. The princess stepped out beside him, her long silver hair flowing in the wind, her tail glowing faintly. Ryan, she whispered. This place, it feels familiar. Like I've been here before. Ryan looked around. Maybe your ancestors were part of it. Maybe this is where the Lyran power began. She frowned, looking at the core in the distance. And where it might end. They walked through the ruins carefully. The air shimmered with static energy. Every few steps, Ryan could hear whispers, human and alien voices mixed together, calling his name. Ryan. Omega, come home. He stopped and turned, but no one was there. The princess grabbed his arm. Don't listen to them. It's the core trying to control you. He nodded weakly. I'll try. As they reached the center of the ruins, they found a wide stone bridge leading directly into the core structure. It glowed so brightly that it looked alive, like a giant beating heart made of crystal and light. Ryan stared at it, mesmerized. It's beautiful and terrifying. The princess nodded slowly. We have to destroy it before it connects to you completely. Ryan sighed. Yeah. But how do we destroy something that's part of me? They crossed the bridge. The sound of Ryan's boots echoed softly. The deeper they went, the more the whispers grew louder, not just in his mind, but around him. Then, a sudden flash of light. The ground beneath them trembled, and a figure appeared in front of the core, tall, cloaked in silver armor with glowing red eyes. Ryan raised his weapon. Who are you? The figure's voice was deep and calm. I am the Guardian of Omega. My purpose is to protect the core from its own creator. The princess narrowed her eyes. Its creator? You mean, Ryan? The Guardian looked at her slowly. Yes. The human before you is the final remnant of the original scientists who made the Omega Project. His DNA was used to grow the core. Ryan froze. That can't be true. I was a child when they took me. The Guardian stepped forward. You were more than a child. You were the source, the only one who survived full integration. Ryan shook his head. You're lying. Am I? The Guardian raised a hand. A holographic image appeared, showing a boy strapped to a machine, surrounded by scientists. The boy's face was Ryan's. The princess gasped. Ryan. The Guardian continued. You were meant to become the living bridge between human and Lyran kind. But your escape caused the collapse of the experiment. The core remained incomplete, until now. Ryan clenched his fists. So you're saying this whole thing, my bond with her, our link, was planned? The Guardian nodded slowly. Yes. The moment you touched her tail, the dormant code in your blood activated. It awakened the bond that connects you both. The princess stepped forward angrily. You used us. You turned our lives into an experiment. The Guardian's voice stayed calm. The Omega program was not evil. It was survival. The humans and Lyrans were destroying each other. This bond was meant to unite them forever. Ryan glared at him. Then why do you sound like a machine still following orders from the dead? The Guardian's red eyes flickered. Because those orders are all I have left. Without warning, the Guardian drew a long energy blade and charged. Ryan pushed the princess aside and blocked the attack with his arm, sparks flying. The impact threw him backward, but he landed on his feet. Ryan! The princess shouted, holding up her hands. Her tail glowed brighter, releasing a wave of energy that hit the Guardian. But he barely moved. Your power is incomplete, the Guardian said. Together, you are strong, but divided, you are nothing. Ryan wiped the blood from his lip. Then maybe it's time to test that theory. He looked at the princess. Lyra, remember what we felt in the pod, when our hearts were one? She nodded nervously. You mean, the connection? Yeah. Let's use it. They closed their eyes and focused. Their energy began to sync, her tail glowing brighter, his body surrounded by blue light. The air vibrated as their bond pulsed like a living storm. The Guardian raised his sword again, but this time, when he struck, Ryan caught it with one hand. The energy around him flared so bright that it burned through the blade. The Guardian stepped back, his voice filled with confusion. Impossible. Ryan opened his eyes, glowing completely blue. His voice echoed deeper now, almost mechanical. It's not impossible. It's what we are. He punched forward, and the blast of energy hit the Guardian like a wave. The impact shattered the ground and sent the armored figure flying into the wall. Sparks flew from its body. The princess ran to Ryan, holding his arm. Ryan! Stop, you'll burn yourself out. But Ryan didn't hear her. His body was shaking, energy pouring out of him uncontrollably. The core behind them started glowing even brighter, pulsing faster. Warning, said a robotic voice from the walls. Omega core overload. Containment breach imminent. The Guardian tried to rise, his voice glitching. You cannot destroy what you are. Ryan fell to one knee, clutching his chest. The princess held him, tears in her eyes. Ryan, stop. You'll die. He looked up at her weakly. Then it ends with me. I won't let them use us anymore. She shook her head. Not without me. She wrapped her arms around him. Their energies fused again, the blue light spreading through the entire chamber. The core pulsed one last time, and then shattered into a blinding explosion of white. When the light faded, the ruins were silent. The Guardian was gone. Ryan and the princess lay on the ground, unconscious but alive. The blue glow was gone from the core, only ashes remained. The princess opened her eyes first. Ryan, she whispered. He groaned softly and turned toward her. Still here. She smiled through tears. You did it. The core is gone. Ryan nodded weakly. Yeah, but something's still wrong. She frowned. What do you mean? He looked down, and saw faint blue cracks spreading across his skin like light trapped under glass. I think, part of the core didn't die, he said softly. I think it's inside me now. The ruins were silent after the explosion. Dust floated through the air, glowing faintly in the light of the broken core. Everything was calm, too calm. Ryan opened his eyes slowly, his body aching. His vision blurred, but he could still see Princess Lyra beside him. She was breathing weakly, her silver hair covered in dust, her tail dim but still glowing faintly. Lyra, he whispered, reaching out to touch her hand. Hey, wake up. Her eyelids fluttered, and she looked at him with tired eyes. Ryan, we're alive. He gave a small smile. Barely. But yeah, we made it. She smiled faintly too, but then her expression changed when she noticed his arm. Blue lines of light ran beneath his skin, spreading slowly upward like veins of fire. Ryan, she said softly, fear in her voice. Your body. He looked down and sighed. Yeah, I feel it. The core didn't die. It fused with me. The princess sat up quickly. No, that's not possible. The explosion. It destroyed the core's shell, he interrupted quietly, but its heart, it's inside me now. He pressed his hand to his chest. The blue glow pulsed with every beat. I can feel it, whispering. Lyra's eyes filled with worry. Can you control it? Ryan closed his eyes. For a moment, the ground trembled slightly beneath them. Maybe. But it's getting stronger, and if it takes over, I don't know what I'll become. They walked out of the ruins together, the light from the broken core fading behind them. Outside, the dark sky was slowly clearing. The endless storm was gone. Lyra looked up at the stars. We did it. The Omega core's energy won't spread anymore. Ryan nodded, though his expression was distant. Yeah, but I'm still part of it. She turned to him quickly. No, don't say that. You're still you. Ryan gave a small smile. Am I? I can hear every heartbeat on this planet now. I can feel the air moving, the light shifting. I'm not supposed to feel this much. Lyra stepped closer, placing her hand on his chest. Then I'll help you control it. Just like before, we'll do it together. Her tail brushed gently against his hand. The same spark of energy from the day they met flickered again, soft and warm. Ryan looked into her eyes. You still trust me, after everything? She smiled softly. You saved me twice, once from falling, and once from myself. I trust you more than anyone. Ryan chuckled faintly. You always say the right thing, you know that. Her smile faded a little. Ryan, what if you can't control it? He looked at her seriously. Then I want you to stop me. Promise me. Her eyes widened. I can't. Promise me, he said again, more firmly this time. If the core takes over, you end it. Tears welled up in her eyes. Ryan. He reached out and touched her cheek gently. Hey. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that. They built a small camp near the ruins that night. The wind was calm, and the stars glowed brighter than ever before. For the first time in a long while, everything felt peaceful. But deep inside, Ryan knew it wouldn't last. As the princess slept, he sat quietly by the fire, staring at his hands. The blue light beneath his skin pulsed slowly, like the core was breathing through him. Then, faintly, he heard a voice. Not mechanical this time, human. Ryan, we are one now. He froze. Who are you? I am the core. Your creation. Your shadow. Ryan clenched his fists. You're supposed to be gone. I cannot die, the voice replied calmly. You made me to survive. And now, you will finish what you started. Ryan's eyes narrowed. No. I'll never be your weapon. You already are. Suddenly, pain surged through his body. His veins glowed bright blue. He gasped, falling to one knee. The ground cracked beneath him as energy exploded outward. The princess woke instantly. Ryan. She ran to him, grabbing his shoulders. What's happening? He could barely speak. It's taking control. The light around him grew brighter, wild, and unstable. His eyes turned completely blue. The core's voice echoed through him. Fusion complete. Omega Protocol, final stage. The princess shook her head. No. Stop it. She held him tightly, her tail wrapping around him. Ryan, listen to me. You're not the core, you're you. For a second, the light dimmed. His voice came back, weak and broken. Lyra, run. I can't stop it. I'm not leaving you, she shouted, tears in her eyes. We started this together, we end it together. Then she did something no one expected. She pressed her forehead to his, closing her eyes. Her tail glowed brighter than ever before, pure white light filling the air. Their bond reconnected, stronger than it had ever been. The core screamed inside Ryan's mind. Impossible. The link is breaking. Lyra whispered softly, I'm not breaking it. I'm completing it. Energy surged between them, swirling like a storm. The blue light in Ryan's veins turned white, then gold. The air around them shook as their bond flooded with light and emotion. Ryan could feel her thoughts, her memories, her love, everything. And for the first time, the core felt it too, and it couldn't handle it. The voice screamed one last time. Emotion, error, cannot control. Then, silence. The light faded. When it was over, Ryan collapsed in her arms. The blue glow was gone. His eyes were clear again. Ryan, she whispered. He smiled faintly. Guess we finally broke the system. She laughed softly through her tears. You scared me. He brushed her cheek gently. Sorry. Old habits. She looked around at the peaceful ruins. It's over, isn't it? Ryan nodded. Yeah. No more Omega. No more control. She smiled warmly. Then what now? He looked at the sky, now filled with bright stars. Now, we live. Whatever comes next, we face it together. She wrapped her tail around his arm and leaned against him. Together, she said softly. And as the first light of dawn rose over the broken world, two hearts, once bound by experiment, beat together freely for the first time.